the task of a cultural institution is to imagine the future. We can, of course, culture is study of the past, is knowledge, but in the end, if we talk about culture as an instrument for social development, culture has the responsibility of imagining the pure future and making projects about the future. I myself believe that really this is the task of individuals and institutions, to act. Culture is action. Culture has to react. Culture has to have courage. Culture is, in my opinion, has one specific task, which is to promote desires. Desiring something is the beginning of culture, is the origin of culture. And we don't desire something, it's very difficult that we go beyond conformistic attitude towards our present and using our past only for conformistic purposes. Well, in present time, we are living in a world that is, let's say, the minimum we can say that is a world of disenchantment about many conquests of the past. We have been conquering the trust in institutions. That has been a great conquer. We have been conquering the trust that we can delegate to different machines the task of regulating our present and our future. The market, the competition, European institutions, the political parties, trade unions. I mean, the delegation of power has been the characteristics of the recent development of civilization, at least in our world. Now everybody seems to shrink to develop a culture of suspicion. Facing complexity is already by itself an assessment of great cultural relevance in a world in which there is a great tendency to oversimplify, to cancel complexity, to reduce each individual, each subject to something very very small, to be identified and classified. So I mean, not seeing the complexity of the actions and reactions and consequences and effects of our actions. So this lack of love for complexity, is a lack of love for culture, is an unfortunate tendency to reduce humankind to monads, single units that are, scared, frightened, and doomed to be dominated by somebody. The cultural exchange in the traditional sense of the word is there, but is that okay? But that's not enough. I mean, cultural exchange as if it were world trade. I mean, that's not enough. Europe is a project. Europe is the result of a culture that did put in action a project of unification and a project for all the nations that took part of the project. That is a great cultural achievement. That is possibly the greatest cultural achievement. But if we stop going on with this idea of new ideas and projects with which and to which engage ourselves and for instance, the newcomers from outside, if we don't have projects, I mean, we are going back to a defensive attitude because we are left with nothing in our hand for our future. We cancel the future. We go back looking at what we had, what we were, what we have been. This is not culture. This is just a reaction and using culture as a defensive tool, not having the capability of having a culture which is capable of making projects for the future.